This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 161. Being a quitter makes you a good entrepreneur by Nir Eyal of nirandfar.com. And I'm your narrator, Dan, and welcome back to Optimal Startup Daily, where I read to you from some of the best blogs on entrepreneurship. And now we're going to hear from Nir as we optimize your life. Being a quitter makes you a good entrepreneur by Nir Eyal of nirandfar.com. When we look at successful entrepreneurs, it may appear that they spend their lives relentlessly driving towards a singular goal. We assume the path to success was a straight shot, lined with mile markers throughout. In fact, it wasn't. Entrepreneurs make it up as they go. The nature and uncertainty of entrepreneurship favors those who can quickly find the most efficient path, regardless of where the crowd may be headed. Finding the optimal path, that is, doing only the stuff that matters most and quitting the rest, is paramount to an entrepreneur's success. In this final post in my 3-part series on the lessons and parallels of running a business and running as an athlete, I'll be taking a look at why quitting is as important as commitment. Lesson 3. Quit to win. Every week, I meet with entrepreneurs who are lit up with a passion for their business. Typically, when I'm asked to advise someone, I will ask what the top issue is that I could help him or her with. True to form, they begin to describe their social media plan, followed by a description of the slides in the investor presentation they will inevitably make. They would be hard-pressed to omit the amazing code they are in the process of building and the great feedback received from a PR agency they met with, and on and on. Invariably, and quite clearly, there is a lot on their mind. I usually find myself interrupting the barrage of lofty plans and ask, so what's most important right now? What are you working on first? It often results in slightly confused looks, hands still aloft in midair from the high-velocity gestures used to describe their plans. Well, all of them, I'll hear. That's why I need help. This is a telltale sign that I won't be acting as an advisor for that company much longer. Prioritization is an entrepreneur's most important responsibility. Startup CEOs need to know what to do and what to quit doing. Doing everything at once doesn't work. Andy Rachleff, one of my professors in business school and a prominent venture capitalist, once shared a technique he used to weed out founders who haven't learned the critical skill of knowing what to work on and what to quit. After hearing the pitch of a business he's interested in, he will email the CEO a litany of questions he wants answered ASAP. Unbeknownst to the entrepreneur, Andy intentionally mixes important questions with fluff questions. These fluff questions require a good deal of time-wasting research, and so the entrepreneur has some important decisions to make and quick. The founder, eager to please the VC and get the investment, has to choose where to best spend his time. If the CEO answers all the questions and does all the research requested, he fails the test, and Andy passes on the deal. If the founder prioritizes correctly, picking the most important questions to address while selectively deprioritizing the rest, he passes the test and goes to the next round of the investment process. Instead of trying to do everything all at once, the startup CEO needs to focus on what really matters. Like in running, all that matters is the very next step. While barefoot running in particular, I scan the road ahead to see what my foot will come in contact with when it hits the pavement. By focusing the mind on the very next step, you prioritize what you should be doing right now. Do it correctly and quit worrying about everything else. The size of your next step depends proportionally on the size of your company. In very early companies, you need to focus on baby steps to validate your vision. Questions like, how do we get a user to open our app daily? Or, how do we get a user to register with their email? Those are often the most important next steps. For larger companies, next steps include bigger strides. The OKR, or Objectives and Key Results method, is one taught to me by our investors at KPCB, and I recommend it for growing companies. Just make sure to match the size of your next step with the size of your company. Taking too big of a stride can distract you from small steps needed to get you there. Keep the steps small and actionable. Taking too big of a step often leads to confusion and exhaustion as team members struggle with objectives too far out of reach to know exactly what to do next. You'll know your next step is the right size when, like running, it's easy but not effortless. It should flow from your organization like one foot following the last. People love to see progress, even from small steps. This is one of the reasons burn-down charts work so well in agile software development. But the principle of taking small steps along a journey can be applied in many situations, in business and in life. By taking small, attainable, and thoughtful steps in your business, you will increase team motivation and focus. Successful people thrive on reprioritizing work by quitting some tasks to maintain focus on more important work. Don't think too far down the road to the finish line. Just keep moving forward. Like running barefoot, successful entrepreneurs follow their feet. You just listened to the post titled, "Being a Quitter Makes You a Good Entrepreneur" by Nir Eyal of nirandfar.com. And thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this episode. With so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives and entrepreneurs, Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. Explore your creativity at skillshare.com/OSD and get a free trial of premium membership. There are so many fascinating classes on Skillshare on topics including hand lettering, creative writing, marketing, and more. As a freelancer, I recently took a Skillshare class called Pricing Your Work, How to Value Your Work as a Freelancer, and I walked away learning pricing strategies I never thought to implement. Skillshare's annual subscription is less than $10 per month, and I was amazed at how much I was able to learn at such an affordable price. Now's the perfect time to learn ways to improve yourself and your business, both of which you can do with Skillshare. Explore your creativity at skillshare.com/OSD and get a free trial of premium membership. That's 2 weeks free at skillshare.com/OSD, and I have that linked in this episode's description. And thank you to Nir. His name and site, by the way, are spelled N-I-R. Nir previously taught as a lecturer in marketing at the Stanford Graduate School of Business and the Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford. He currently writes, consults, and teaches about the intersection of psychology, technology, and business, or as Nir refers to it, behavioral design. Since 2003, Nir has co-founded and sold 2 tech companies and was dubbed by the MIT Technology Review as the prophet of habit-forming technology. He's also the author of 2 best-selling books called Hooked, How to Build Habit-Forming Technology, and Indistractable, How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life. Those are both highly reviewed books, and you can see them, his blog, and more at nirandfar.com. Again, N-I-R and far.com. And I've got that linked in this episode's description. And that does it for today here on Optimal Startup Daily. I thank you so much for being here and hope you enjoyed the post, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.